Greetings and thanks for being a part of today's 6:30 Prime News on my major prime. We're live from Fengudrombange in Douala. My name is Gienda Peldrin Blanche King. The COVID-19 vaccine has been identified by government officials as the most essential and consistent response measure to stop the spread of the virus in the country. Minister of Communication Rene Emmanuel-Sadi was speaking recently when he confirmed that this yesterday during the interministerial press conference in Yaoundé. Darling Gonde has a recap of the press conference.
In a bid to step up national response against COVID-19 through vaccination, a joint interministerial press conference conjoining incident managers at national, regional and local levels has recently taken place in Yaoundé at the conference hall of the Ministry of Communication. Speaking during the event was Minister Rene Emmanuel-Sadi, reminding stakeholders of the enormous ravage already and still being caused by the killer pandemic COVID-19. With the advent of a new wave of infections, the resurgence of new cases, as well as the increase in the number of deaths caused by the pandemic in the country, the minister added that the government, under the high impetus of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, has been putting in huge efforts to curb the widespread of the virus. However, while enumerating the enormous efforts, Minister Rene Emmanuel-Sadi also concurred that these huge efforts have not been good enough to contain and mitigate the negative effects of the virus on the population as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to rage, requiring both state decision makers and the scientific community to keep mobilizing to efficiently counter the harm caused by the pandemic. In this light, the minister added vaccines appear by all accounts to be the most essential and consistent response measure to preserve the lives of the populations, reason why the government has been making necessary arrangements to acquire them in enabling Cameroonians who so desire to benefit from them. With the assurance of the national scientific community on the reliability of the said vaccines and the stems for a sovereign obligation, the interministerial press conference also disclosed the advanced reception of more vaccines into the country in the days ahead. And in response to public health emergency calls, Minister Manauda Malachi of the Public Health says the COVAX facility will enable Cameroon receive enough vaccine doses to cover up to 20% of its population. He also said that government will receive 1,752,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine before the end of May 2021, and the first delivery of 391,200 is announced for April 17th this year. In addition to the COVAX facility, several other opportunities have been explored, notably the possibility of bilateral agreements with partner countries that manufacture vaccines as well as regional and sub-regional initiatives. As such, an order of 4 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was concluded on April 7 between the government and the African Union via the CDC Africa.
Public Health Minister Manauda Malachi was in Douala earlier today. He was received by Governor of the Littoral Region, Samuel Diodone Ivaha Debois, at the Genie Obstetric Hospital in Douala, where he officially launched the vaccination exercise in the Littoral Region. The Senior Divisional Officer for Vuri, Benjamin Butu, was first recipient of the vaccine. Details with Eileen Sama.
Minister Manauda Malachi's first stop in Douala was at the Guyana Obstetric Hospital, where he was received with warmth by the Governor of the Littoral, Samuel Diodone Ivaha Debois, accompanied by the SEO for Wuri, Benjamin Butu, and the authorities of the hospital as well as the staff. The first person to be vaccinated was the Senior Divisional Officer for Wuri, whom shortly after underscored the importance of everyone receiving the vaccine against the deadly coronavirus. Next stop was at the Medical Respiratory Center, Douala, where the health boss made a brief stop after a swift chat with the officials of the medical facility and supervised the vaccination exercise. His last stop was at the Douala Lakintini Hospital, where an official ceremony was organized to keep rolling the vaccination campaign. The Douala City Mayor, Roger Mbassadine, welcomed the minister, Governor of the Littoral, Senior Divisional Officer for Wuri, and the entire team for giving preference to Lakintini Hospital while calling on all in Douala and beyond to get vaccinated.
Grâce à la clairvoyance distinguée de son chef, le président de la République, son Excellence, à ce jour, le Cameroun a cette nouvelle dose de vaccin et les populations de Douala se sentent privilégiées de recevoir les leurs en présence de Monsieur le ministre de la Santé publique en personne. Monsieur le ministre, merci. Je souhaiterais, au de toutes nombreuses circonstances, exprimer aussi mon satisfaction à l'occasion de la cérémonie qui est organisée ce jour.
The event provided a unique opportunity for the health minister to transmit a clear and direct message to the people of the Littoral region, debunking the rumors centering the vaccine Sinopharm of its unsafety while calling for massive vaccination as the region expects 4,000 more doses of the vaccine by Saturday, April 7, 2021.
Ma joie d'être ici et d'abord de témoigner parce que je suis un exemple vivant de celui qui s'est vacciné. Et donc pour ceux qui vous disent à gauche, à droite, c'est que le vaccin, pourquoi il ne faut pas le prendre, pourquoi il faut le prendre et tout le reste, je crois que s'il y a quelque chose qui arrive lorsqu'on se vaccine, vous devez venir vers moi pour me demander si j'ai été malade ou quelque chose s'est passé depuis le 12 que je me suis fait vacciner.
To show proof of the safety and confidence in the Chinese vaccine, representatives of the Chinese community in Douala were among the first to be vaccinated as well at the Douala Lakintini Hospital, starting with the president of the Chinese Commercial Center. It is worth noting that the second dose of the vaccine will be administered after a month.
Southwest Regional Delegation of Public Health has received the first consignment of COVID-19 vaccine from the Ministry of Public Health. The vaccine will be distributed to different health districts within the 6 divisions of the region to help curb the spread of the virus within the southwest region of the country. Crise completes the story.
Strategic Humanitarian Services, Cameroun, with its partners Building Schools for Africa, Wednesday, April 14, 2021, donated benches, a science laboratory, classrooms and school toilets to some Catholic primary schools and secondary school in the Bamenda 1, 2 and 3 subdivision, Mezam division of the Northwest. Shumas investing 80% of their resources to education because of the importance of education for a future nation and Africa, donated 50 benches, 4 chairs and 2 tables to Catholic Primary School St. John, Foncha Street in the Bamenda 3 municipality, refurbished classroom, equipped and transformed into a science laboratory at the St. Joseph Catholic College, Big Mancon, Bamenda 2 subdivision, while at St. Charles Luangwa Catholic Primary School upstation, Bamenda 1 municipality, built and equipped classrooms with benches and a school toilet were handed over to the benefactors. The various schools' administration promised the donor they will maintain the project to the best of what it was made for.
I'm really happy because the benches have come too fast. That's why I'm so happy today, because the benches have come too fast and we are here today to receive them together with the PTA chair, the representative of the Catholic Education Secretary, Mr. Valentine, and our PTA chair is here, the Parish Pastoral Council chairperson is here, our teachers are here, and the representative of the pupils, they are also here. And if you look at them, you see that we are very, very happy.
Shuma's director, Jerem Stephen, appreciated the prelates, school managers, for their realistic need of the schools, called on the pupils and students to make good use of the offer, regretted the absence of education in rural areas due to the current crisis, but wished the days ahead will understand the importance of education to the future generation. Various speakers at the events appreciated Shumas and his partners Building Schools for Africa for the too much done to the Catholic Church with hope the science lab be a facilitation to youth in the country, especially students of St. Joseph's Catholic College, Big Mancon, whom most of the students are IDP who had fled to the city because of the ongoing crisis.
That was rather Charles Kibwa from the Northwest region talking about Shumas, or the contribution of Shumas and partners in reinforcing education in the Northwest region, given that the region has suffered a lot since the start of the socio-political crisis. They're trying to reinstate or reinforce education in the Northwest region of the country. Let's now revisit the Southwest region of the country, where our reporter says the first consignment of COVID-19 vaccine have reached the region, and the vaccine will be distributed to different health districts within the 6 divisions of the region to help curb the spread of the virus. Clarissa Kowe reports.
Southwest region of Cameroon, through the Southwest Regional Delegation of Public Health, has received the first consignment of COVID-19 vaccine donated by the Chinese government to assist developing countries to combat the second phase of the pandemic.
We received 12,000 vaccines from the Ministry of Public Health yesterday, and as we speak, we have started with the vaccination process proper. The immunity may last for 6 months to 1 year. It can permit us to go through the second wave unaffected. That is the most important.
During this follow-up meeting with stakeholders of the region to take stock of the COVID-19 situation in the region, Dr. Ebonko Zakios, the Southwest Regional Delegate of Public Health, hinted that over 2,047 persons have tested positive, while 40 deaths have been recorded within the region.
Mark of positive cases in the region. So we have 2,047 people tested positive so far for COVID-19 in the region, with 40 deaths. And very interesting to note here that in the preceding week, we had up to 183 persons who tested positive.
With these surging positive cases witnessed within the region and the vaccine coming at a time when the population have contrasting view about the side effect of the vaccine, the health delegate emphasized on the importance of taking the vaccine as it has no major side effect.
Like any other inoculation process, can't go without side effects, but they are minimal. Myself and my entire staff of the Regional Delegation of Public Health will receive the vaccine, first dose of the vaccine, in a few minutes from now. So in the days ahead, we'll be scaling down the process to the rest of the districts in the region.
The 12,000 vaccine that was received on Monday, April 12, are expected to be distributed to the different health districts within the 6th division of the region to help mitigate the effect of the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The vaccination exercise against the deadly coronavirus started yesterday in the Northwest region of the country. Public health officials received the consignment of 11,400 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine. Details with Fonquinta.
Vaccination against COVID-19 has begun in the restive Northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. The exercise officially began after public health officials and other administrative personnel received a consignment of over 11,400 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine, which arrived Cameroon from China a few days back. The consignment of over 11,400 vaccine doses was received in the region by a representative of the governor of the Northwest region, Kmer. Shortly after the vaccines were handed to the Northwest Regional Delegate of Public Health, the first dose of Sinopharm vaccine was administered to the governor's representative, Kmer, followed by the Regional Delegate for Public Health, Dr. Cheso Kingsley, and the Director of the Bamenda Regional Hospital. The vaccines that got into the region yesterday are destined for over 23 health facilities within 20 health districts in the Northwest region. The vaccines are getting into the region at a time it counts over 4,580 positive cases, 633 of which are active, 3,774 recoveries with 173 fatalities. According to the Regional Delegate for Public Health, 435 health personnel in the Northwest region have been infected, 5 deaths registered. Meanwhile, 41 pregnant women have tested positive for coronavirus, including 2 deaths in the entire region.
Some Cameroonian students on scholarship in Algeria have sent a help cry regarding the unfavorable conditions they are subjected to in Algeria. The students claim they have received no form of financial assistance from the government despite being promised financial benefits monthly. Nora Kakebi completes this story.
Yesterday in Yaoundé, some students on professional training who were sent to Algeria on scholarship took to the streets expressing their grievances and frustrations towards the Cameroon government. According to the students, they were sent to Algeria on scholarship, but while there, they have been totally abandoned to themselves. They complained that the government does not give them any financial assistance to pursue studies and to take care of themselves. They added that sometimes they are being thrown out by landlords because they can't meet up with their rents, and it is quite frustrating. It is on this note that some of them were delegated and sent back to the country to express to the Cameroon government their worries and desperation. The students, therefore, gathered in front of the Ministry of Professional Training in Yaoundé yesterday, demanding their rightful claims. They said for 3 years now, they have not received anything from the government. One of them has this to say. We have not yet received money, which is meant for us. They said we are entitled to 50,000 francs each every month. It is our money, but up till this moment, we have received nothing. Those who are still out there in Algeria are merely struggling to survive.
Avec toutes les promesses de la terre, c'est-à-dire, et quand nous rentrons, nous n'avons pas d'encadrement, nous n'avons pas un suivi, c'est-à-dire nous rentrons avec nos diplômes, nous sommes plus déphasés que ceux qui sont restés au Cameroun.
They don't take care of us. Even after studies, there is no follow-up. Instead, the authorities are asking us to create businesses and create enterprises. Where will the funding come from?
Si on ne peut même pas déjà avoir au moins nos bourses, pour essayer même de se battre, ils demandent de créer des entreprises. Avec quels fonds?
The students feel frustrated with the situation out there and back at home, where nothing seems to be different. And with authorities telling them that their money has been blocked at the level of the Ministry of Finance.
Human Rights Watch has deplored the arrests of persons suspected of gender non-conformity within 2 months in the country. This is contained in a release published yesterday. They condemn human rights abuses, amongst other factors. In the report that follows, Audrey Zatsa reads through the release and what the Cameroonian law states about persons with no gender conformity.
In a statement published on its website on April 14th, the non-governmental organization Human Rights Watch deplores the number of arrests in the space of 2 months of persons suspected of being lesbians, gays, bisexuals, or transgenders. The organization points to an abuse by police forces which seems to take place in this general context of resurgence against LGBTs. Human Rights Watch Deputy Director of LGBT Division, Nilal Ghoshal, points out that these abuses raise serious concerns and that the law that criminalizes homosexual behavior puts LGBT people at risk of being mistreated, tortured, and assaulted without consequences of the perpetrators. To back up its claims, the organization says it has spoken with 18 persons by telephone since February 17th and relied on several reports from Cameroonian and international LGBT organizations, courts, documents, police reports, and medical records. Human Rights Watch recounts that on February 24th in Bafoussam West region, police raided the offices of Colibri, an organization that provides HIV prevention and treatment services, and arrested 13 persons, including 7 staff of the association, and that the 13 persons were charged with homosexuality and then released by police on February 26th and 27th. It is, however, important to note that Section 347 of Cameroon's new penal code, adopted in July 2016, prohibits sexual relations with a person of the same sex with a prison term of 6 months to 5 years and a fine of 20,000 francs to 200,000 francs. And Article 83 of Cameroon's law on cyber criminality and cyber security, adopted in December 2010, equally punishes anyone who makes sexual propositions to someone of the same sex via electronic means with a prison term of up to 2 years and a fine of 500,000 to 1 million francs CFA. The punishment is doubled if the proposed sexual acts are actually carried out.
Today is World Arts Day. This day marks the international celebration of fine arts declared in 2012 by the International Association of Arts in partnership with UNESCO to promote awareness regarding the part or what arts plays in the culture, education and freedom of expression. Details with Bukengo Kimiaworthy.
Art is one of the most powerful ways one can use to express themselves and form strong bonds with humanity. It plays a vital role in the Sustainable Development Goals and helps learners and individuals worldwide to cope with daily life's hazards.
Art education brings together two fundamental dimensions of human development: culture and education. Arts education is a key part of a comprehensive education. It advances learning outcomes and teaches new skills, benefiting learners of all ages.
Even amid the pandemic, artists around the world have been a constant source of solace, inspiration and connection through their brushes, canvas, mouse, writing, sculpture, as well as music.
Across the globe, more than 1.5 billion learners have been affected by school closures due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In these challenging times, we need art education more than ever. UNESCO has long worked to strengthen the links between culture and education and their fundamental role in promoting social cohesion, sustainable development, and peace.
According to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, arts is so much more.
Music brings people together, the only form of communication around the world for which translators are not needed. Where music and the arts are part of the school curriculum, young people do better in their studies. And where culture and the arts flourish, societies thrive. We need to invest in culture and to protect cultural rights just as we protect all other human rights. In that spirit, I hope today's concept will inspire us towards the global solidarity that is needed so urgently at this unprecedented time.
Worthy of note is the fact that arts nurtures creativity, innovation, and cultural diversity for everyone across the globe. And according to the Director General for UNESCO, Audrey Azole, art has the power to soothe, inspire, and bring people together.
Etape Content has sports updates in the French language.
Coton Sport va de victoire en victoire. Après avoir battu de 5 buts à 1, le club zambien Nabza Star Football dimanche dernier au stade Rumdiadia à Garoua, dans le cadre de la Coupe de la CAF, 4e journée, les cotonculteurs font encore parler d'eux hier, mercredi 14 avril, en s'imposant contre Canon Sportif de Yaoundé avec 2 buts à 0 à Garoua, dans le chaudron du déroulement du championnat camerounais Elite One, 6e journée en match retard. Lambert Ngumeu est l'auteur d'un doublé. Alors que le joueur de 22 ans avait été recalé pour le champ passé, Lambert n'arrête pas de marquer les buts dans le championnat du pays. Le joueur de Coton Sport joue en mode vengeance. En 4 matchs d'Elite One disputés, il totalise à son actif 7 réalisations, dont un triplé contre Tonnerre, ce doublé contre Canon. Il est également auteur de 4 points en Coupe de la CAF. Le match qui s'est joué hier avait été reporté dimanche passé en raison de l'implication de Coton Sport, vice-champion Ligue 1 du Cameroun, dans la Coupe de la Confédération africaine qui est toujours en cours. Dans le classement de l'Elite One, le joueur Lambert fait grimper son équipe à la 2e position avec 9 points. Par ailleurs, Dragon de Yaoundé et PWD de Bamenda ont fait match nul hier dans le compte de la 3e journée en match en retard au stade du centre sportif académique de Mbankomo. Cette rencontre, qui devait se jouer le 20 mars passé à Yaoundé, avait été reportée suite au bus des Abakwa Boys qui avait pris feu en cours de route vers Makenenin lors d'un voyage. Heureusement, aucune perte en vies humaines n'avait été déclarée. Parlons à présent de la Ligue des champions d'Europe. Les demi-finalistes sont connus. Le champion d'Europe en titre, PSG, sera opposé à Manchester City. Et l'autre rencontre se discutera entre Chelsea de Thomas Tuchel et Olivier Giroud et le Real de Madrid, champion sacré 13 fois dans la compétition. Toutefois, les deux qualifiés se retrouveront en finale le 29 mai au stade Atatürk d'Istanbul.
Thanks for being with us. See you tomorrow at 6:30 for the Friday edition of Prime News on my Major Prime. Faith Tata Bernier coordinated the news, produced by Ewane Elainolinga. Genda Belgium Blanche King is my name. Stay tuned to my Major Prime at 7 p.m. Prime Hour will be live with Leonard, and after Prime Hour we'll have a Prime Spot with a topic content. Stay tuned to my Major Prime. Happy viewing and good night.